So last time, our group came upon what they believed was the Emerald Eye, the Emerald Grotto, the Festival of Merit's grand finale, but ended up with a very strange vision of some sort of lost hero who's stuck somewhere asking for help. Kind of shake off those events. You know, the party enjoyed quite a fun time of betting and celebrating the festival activities. Pumpkin got cabbages. Very important to note. Cabbages were had. And everyone is on their way to retire for the night. I imagine before you guys got settled into like all the partying and stuff like that, you know, you had your rooms assigned and, you know, your bags and stuff, you know, were put where they needed to go. And we're gonna start with Medea. When you get to your room, you notice neatly sitting on your pillow is a little stuffed plushie in the form of an owl bear.
What's this? And Medea will slowly move forward and pick it up with both hands, inspecting it, giving it a nice gentle caress over the top, looking for any kind of card or indication of who it might be from.
There's no card, but there is a little linen baggie attached to it that has what your favorite trail snack would be. And what would that be?
Ooh, okay. Medea loves raisins.
I imagine there's like a couple different kinds of raisins, like in this baggie.
As Medea opens it up, a very warm smile just completely takes over her features, and her eyes get wide and a little wild and wet, almost as if she's trying to hold back tears. And she kind of reaches in with her big fingers and takes one raisin, pops it in, and then she stores the little baggie away for later. She will actually...
Yeah.
Oh, there's a picture!
Yeah. You have drawn the key card. So this is a rare magic item that you can snuggle with. It's called a Snuggle Beast.
Snuggle Beast?
And it helps you regain hit points when you have naps with it.
My God! Chat. Oh my God, it's so freaking cute. It looks like cotton candy, but put into an owlbear shape. Medea will kind of give it a little squeeze, and then what she's gonna do, she's actually gonna like tuck it into her belt, so it's just on her hip.
Nice. Okay. You're not... There's no confirmation of who would have given this gift, but you have a pretty good idea of who it may be from. That it might be from your daughter.
Medea kind of looks around and her head peeks out into the hallway. She looks left, she looks right, and unable to see any trace of her daughter. She closes her door quietly, lays down, and she'll fall asleep with it on her chest, right where her heart would be.
The scene fades. How is Mira ending the night?
Well, you caught me. I would be inviting my new lady friend to spend the night. No pressure. If she doesn't want to, that's cool. Or if she wants to just like, hang out and snuggle, that's cute too. It's all good. Like Mira just wants some nice company.
Yeah, Bonnie will go back with you, and it's still new. A little awkward tension and nerves and butterflies. But you do get to snuggle. Who's the big spoon and who's little spoon?
Oh, Mira's big spoon.
Nice. You drift off as being big spoon. Next up, how's Kau ending the night?
Kau, after coming back down from flying up and studying the stars and sort of getting like some insight about the temple and the different constellations, is probably buzzing with that kind of knowledge. So is in his room, he's got his kind of like star maps out, and he's looking and planning. He's marked already the temple of the Moonweaver.
Moonweaver.
Yep, that we just the ruined temple of the Moonweaver, and is sort of like kind of like done a rough plot of where the potentially could be other temples. Doesn't know. It's just like hypothetical at the moment, but those kind of things are formulating in his head. And he'll probably just he'll probably roost in his room, just with the windows open, with the moonlight coming in and the stars coming in, and that kind of knowledge in his head.
Nice. Scene fades once again, and we find ourselves with our last two. Yep. You guys have a joint room. There's two, like little twin beds on either side. What are Era and Yanni up to?
I think Ada walked into the room and kind of immediately sat down on the bed, taking off his black riding boots and kind of setting them gently onto the bed, onto the floor next to them. And when Shumunyani walks in, I think they are kind of like stealing glances over at Yanni in a nervous way, with the vision and Salakas's words still reeling through his head.
Yeah, Yanni, after you were done with Dragon Chess, as soon as you stood up to sort of like retire, Yanni just followed you up, lets you pick which bed you want, and they lay their glaive and all their other stuff. They just start shedding all of their gear at the foot of their bed in neat little piles. And I think they sense that you are feeling just kind of... How would you describe your emotions right now?
I think there's a question on Ada's face that hasn't been answered, and I think behind it there is a level of softness, but that's being undercut by anxiety.
Yeah, and I think I've been with you long enough that I can sort of pick up on that. I walk around to your side of the room, and I will sit on the floor, I think, like across from you, and I'll just look up at you and just say, how are you feeling after all of that?
Ada takes their crown off of their head and kind of puts it next to them onto the pillow and kind of looks at it for a second, looks back at Yanni. There's something going on here. There's something deeper than just a festival, I think. Zalakas spoke to me in that vision.
Did she? What did she say?
She said that the man that we saw, Alexian, I think his name was,
Yeah, Alexian.
he was not supposed to be alive.
What do you mean?
Zalakas was under the impression that the man was dead, had sacrificed his life.
Oh. Do you think the vision we had was, how you say, like, real? Like, that was really him reaching out and not like a memory or something?
My beloved seemed convinced that it was real, or at least she didn't give any indication that it wasn't. Zalakas seemed just as shocked as anyone to see him there. And I think if it was some sort of illusion, some sort of memory, a solar as powerful as her, well, she'd know, right?
No, definitely. I was asking around some of the townsfolk. No one has heard of Alexian. It's quite strange. I have not heard that name either. In all my
Neither have I.
travels and studying.
But there
Very
is a
strange.
name that both of us should be familiar with, if you recall.
I know the name. I can't pronounce it. Corellian?
Corellon.
Corellon. Corellon. Yes. The Arcart.
The Arcart is exactly who Zalakas worked for, exactly who Zalakas traveled with, fought with for so long during the calamity. If
Yeah.
he is involved, then
This must be, yeah, like you said. I can't help but think it's bigger than all of this. And I'm gonna like reach out to like just like touch your knee, like in like a reassuring manner, and just say, let's try to get some sleep, and we can try to talk to more people tomorrow. Perhaps Urshu might know more, can point us in the right direction.
if Shumanyani starts to like get up, to like stand up and like go to bed, I think Ada places his hands on their hand, the one that's on their knee, and kind of holds it there to gesture to stop.
Oh, and I sit back down. Yes?
Corellon is very, very closely tied to my family, which means that whatever this is, you understand that whatever this is probably has implications for the kingdom.
Yes.
I just want you to promise me that you'll be safe.
Of course. My job is to protect you. And I can't do that if I'm not here.
And I think Ada opens his mouth like he's going to say something, but stops himself just in time, and instead just kind of gives a small smile and nods, and clearly like not really wanting to, starts to like slowly move their hands off of yours.
And Yanni removes their hands, and they stand up, and they walk to their side of the room. And I think they pull out from their canister map carrying case thing a piece of parchment, a map of the region. And is there like a desk in this room or something?
It's probably like a small end table between the two beds.
Cool. So I just lay the parchment out, pull out some ink, quill. And before bed, I scrawl a bunch of notes onto this map based on information that I took in my note prior to this, and then I also make note of the Moon Weaver's Temple and all this other stuff that we learned. And I set that out on the floor in like the far corner of the room to dry overnight. I down with some paperweights, I guess. I'm like, rocks? Would Yanni just carry rocks around in their bag? That seems very much like them. But then they get in their own bed, they blow out the candles, and they go to bed.
Alright. As you drift off, you kind of feel yourself tossing and turning. Outside in the sky, while all of you are asleep, the second moon, Rudius, the red one, who's normally just a pale red crescent, suddenly becomes full and shines bright red. And you begin to dream. You have drawn the Riley card. It's a flashback or memory. And you may have your dream, which is Yanni dream.
Yeah. Like most nights, Yanni's dream begins in darkness. They float on their back, the water still and silent, gazing upwards as thousands upon thousands of tiny stars populate the night sky. Then, as if dragged down by weights, Shivanyani sinks beneath the water, and suddenly they fall from the heavens, from swirling black clouds, the wind whistling past their ears. The sky burns crimson, and as they fall, the sounds of cacophonous battle grow louder. Shivanyani hits the ground running, something clutched in their hand, a piece of parchment. No, a sword. The ground shakes violently, and as it cracks, tendrils of black smoke writhe out of the dirt. Yanni can hear screaming, but it all sounds far away, as if they've been submerged underwater. They feel, for only a moment, a warm embrace, a flash of white fabric beneath the blazing sun, a gentle voice calling out to them, but the words are unintelligible. And their clothes, soaked in blood that is still warm, the fabric clinging to their skin, dripping, and every drop sends chills down Yanni's spine, reverberating in their chest as the pressure builds. The air grows warmer, and then Yanni wakes up, drenched in sweat. It's the middle of the night. Is the moon still bright and red?
Yeah, it's shining bright red into your face.
They sit up, and they're breathing really heavily, and they reach around for their water, and they take a sip, and they try to calm themselves down as quietly as possible, because they have dreams like this fairly often, but it's something that they hide from everyone. And they're trying to be as quiet as possible, and after they collect their breath and try to air out their bedding and all the sheets that have been sweat upon by all their mist, they try to go back to sleep.
It probably takes a while for you to go back to sleep, but you eventually do as you kind of start to see dawn kind of lighting up the sky.
I assume the answer is no, but just for the sake of asking, with a passive perception of 10, does Ada wake up? Does he hear any of this? We're in the same room.
imagine any like surrounding sounds. You're not really like fully conscious enough to like wake up. It's probably just attributed to, you know, kind of like the ambience that you're used to, and especially with Ioni having nightmares in the past. Hearing an extra rumble around, shuffle in the room isn't abnormal. Like it. So yeah, I would imagine you would have woken up.
Soon.
Look, I'm just trying to start shit. I will take every opportunity.
Yep. Morning finally come. You hear the birds. You're like starting to just drift off when everyone else is starting to wake up and go about their day.
Yeah, I think I get like maybe only like 30 minutes extra of sleep before Ada wakes up. Because I think we both wake up early. Yeah, we talked about this before. I can't remember though. Yeah. So I think like Yanni has like just fallen asleep again and Ada stirs. What do you do in the morning?
I think, given that Yanni and Mira usually like to get in a morning workout together, which Ada doesn't fully understand this whole like crack of dawn, like go lift rocks thing that you two do together, but they're used to it at this point. So I think every morning Ada kind of like gets up and like expects to start their day like getting ready while the two of you are doing your thing. And so when he wakes up and Shimunyani is, if it's okay with you, Jay, like maybe Shimunyani is like still in bed. Like,
yeah, I'm still in bed, yeah.
I think he kind of like is confused for a bit because this isn't normal, and Shimunyani like is a very routined person, I think. And I think it's very unusual for her to like deviate from that routine in any substantial way, especially without letting him know. So I think he kind of like stares for a little bit confused, but lets you sleep and instead quietly goes over to Mira's room and knocks.
Mira's very quickly at the door, but only opens it a little and is like peeking their head out, like, yes, my prince, how can I help you?
Hey, Mira. Sorry to just bother you in the morning like this.
Yeah,
but,
you know what? Hang on. And like Mira like looks in to make sure like Bonnie's still sleeping and like closes the door behind them and comes out. And Mira's definitely not wearing a lot right now. Like Mira's definitely wearing like just enough to like be socially approved of decent. Like literally probably like their long like blouse is fully just open and they've got like some like little like shorts on underneath, and they like come out and they lean against the door. Yeah, sorry. Proceed.
No, that's okay. Am I interrupting something?
No, I just don't want to, you know, wake her up. Be a polite.
I didn't realize you
gotta
had
be a polite host.
company.
It's very important.
Right. Is that why you and Yanni are not working out today, or?
Is Yanni up? Because I didn't hear any movement. Normally, I feel like I can hear, you know, when he gets up. I normally can tell. I feel like so.
No, that's actually why I came down. I just wanted to ask whether Yanni had said anything to you about today. It's not like them to still be asleep.
No, it's not, but I figured it was an unusual, you know, we had an unusual, like, day, special festivities. Even Yanni fought a shark, I think, at some point. Maybe that's means enough for rest.
I mean, it usually takes more to get her so tired, but maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just reading too much into things. The vision from yesterday kind of has me a little rattled, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that was something too. The whole vision thing. Maybe, Yanni doesn't get tired from physicality much, but there was a lot emotionally happening yesterday. Do you think that there may be like an emotional sleeper?
I think Ada just kind of like cocks their head because they had never thought about this before, and they're like thinking about it, and I think they realize like Yanni doesn't talk about her emotions very much. They are rather reserved on that front. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe let him sleep and then see if maybe while they're sleepy, you can get some info out of them, just check in on them and see how they're doing. It might be a good time to strike, just saying. And when I say strike, I mean figuratively. Unless that's something you do, and then, I'm not gonna judge.
No,
so.
I don't think attacking my bodyguard is a good idea, Mira. But thank you for that suggestion. I think I should maybe let you get back to your company.
Yeah, sounds good. If Yanni gets up, tell her to just give me a knock, and I will be out there because gotta lift, can't skip rock day.
Of course. Yeah. I'm gonna go. You have fun. Thanks, I think.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And then goes back inside.
I think Ada's more confused after this conversation than he was before it. He's like, I don't feel like I learned anything. I feel like I have more questions, actually. And they just go down to the tavern and get a table for everybody and maybe order breakfast so that by the time everybody's down here, food's already ready.
All right. While you're doing that, Mira, how do you
I go snuggle Bonnie. I go snuggle Bonnie and see how Bonnie is doing. And I said, Mira is a very good host, and make sure that Bonnie is doing good. And then
I think the fans would like to know, and by the fans I mean me. What is pillow talk like between Mira and Bonnie? I'm just curious. What do you two talk about?
I mean, I feel like I feel like Mira genuinely Mira is, some might say, full of themselves, and they have, elaborate stories they like to tell, but they also, they're not a complete narcissist. They do like making connections with people, and they do like hearing other people's stories and adventures and stuff like that. That's very much part of traveling and adventuring, and very much part of their life. So I think they would try and get Bonnie to chat a little bit, and then if Bonnie doesn't have stuff, that's when Mira would kick in with stories to wow her, and really sort of impress her, and probably show off the really fancy sword, and yeah, I definitely fought some, I've had to kick folks off boats. What can I say? Just sometimes the plank, it's not close enough. You just throw them right over the side. Just
Bonnie is very interested, and with her being in the Aurora Watch, she will exchange stories. She's definitely intrigued to hear stories about all the adventures on the sea, because she's been generally landlocked in her tenure with the Watch. And she really likes cats. She talks about her cat, who's probably at home wanting lots of attention. When she kind of stirs awake, she kind of it's morning. What time? But
oh, it's a little after sunup. It's not too late. I didn't realize. Do you have to run? Do you need me to go? Do you need some food before you go, or anything?
I gotta get back to the
Or you can-
outpost because we only really got the one day off.
Okay.
I've got to go check in with Meryl on where we're going. This has been like super lovely, and I do hope we can meet up again. I don't know where you're off to, but I generally stay in the in Jorhas at various posts and stuff.
All right. Well, that's good to know. I wouldn't like to keep you. That's a lie. I would like to keep you, but I understand that you can't stay. So you go ahead, and I will make sure to call upon you sometime soon, as soon as it's possible.
Yeah. She kind of like blushes, and if it's okay with you, she will give you a like little kiss on the cheek as she has all her stuff. I imagine kind of like half of it she's dressed, and then half of it she kind of has like an armful of various belongings and stuff that she didn't feel like she wanted to put on. So she's kind of like, thanks. It was a really nice time. I hope you have a good day.
You too. Yeah. I'll like see her off, and then as soon as she's done, Mira will like throw on enough clothes to actually like get all their stuff together, and then like hurry downstairs to see if Yanni's up yet, if it's rock time.
Alright.
I think Yanni does wake up, like when Ada leaves the room, the door closing, I think, is what wakes them up. And I think like they just heave a little sigh, knowing that just fallen back asleep, but they have to keep pushing on as they do every single morning. And they get ready, and I think they're ready by the time Ada has gone downstairs and left Mira, and so Yanni would be the second person downstairs, I think.
While you are getting up, and as you're kind of like surveying the room, noticing that you are alone, you notice movement on your wrist, and you just have
I look at it.
and it seems to be moving like a compass. But it's pointing to something.
I can know where you are.
You have the bands of lost and found. They'll always point to each other.
That is so cool.
May, that's
Oh my
gay. I
goodness.
love
That's
it.
so
That's so
gay.
gay.
Was it the bands of Lost and Found, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
And that
so
is
cool.
from your sun card.
But we both got a sun card, or just
That
me?
was yours. Just two of you got to benefit
Also,
from it.
that was a buy one get one free. I got that one for free.
I saw that and I was like, okay, how can I not take that one? Like, that's perfect.
Oh my gosh. I gotta write this down. Ah! Okay, so, Yanni feels like the little needle, like, moving around, and they look at it, and I think their thought is, huh, that's peculiar, and they finish, getting ready. I think as they go downstairs, they look at it again, and then they realize, oh, that's what it does. And they kind of shake off any sort of worry or concern that might be on their face. I think when Ada woke up and saw Yanni sleeping, I think their brows were furrowed in their sleep. And so they try to like neutralize their face as much as they can. And they sit down and they put out their wrist and they see that it's pointing directly at you. And they're just like, look at this. Look at this. Look at yours.
Oh, I think Ada hadn't even like noticed theirs at all. in the sort of like anxiety of the morning, and so he puts down his wrist where he's wearing his own band. Huh. That's so strange. I guess I can't hide from you anymore.
Nope. Yanni looks kind of happy about that.
And it, I think, passes a drink over across the table to Yanni. And it is... What is Yanni's favorite morning beverage of choice?
I think it's just a good old jasmine tea, something to wake him up in the morning. We've been drinking hot tea this entire time, and I think that's just like something they make in the morning, like when we're on the road. Yanni will build a fire and boil some water and make tea for the group. And I think that's just what they enjoy drinking in the morning.
In that case, it is a cup of hot jasmine tea, and they pass it along the table. Had a rough night?
The beds are a bit small. I'm a very tall person.
And I think for, at least to you, no discernible reason, Ada kind of blushes at that, and they look down at their own cup and they say, well, Mira's going to be down any minute now for your rock day, they called it. But I think they have company,
yes.
so prepare yourself.
Company. Oh.
And I think maybe that's the moment that Mira comes down the stairs.
I feel like Bonnie goes running by because Bonnie has to go to work, right? So Bonnie goes running by and like they're like getting her clothes on.
And yeah, Yanni
Company.
like, is just going, oh, and then Bonnie comes down and their oh gets louder, and then they just trail off.
As you, we fade on over to Kou. What does your morning look like?
Kawu is very late sleeper. Being Owlin, they like to stay up as late as possible, and as soon as any light appears on the horizon, that's probably when they think about turning in. So they won't come down. They're probably asleep still, and until someone comes and wakes them at like a normal time of day. But if anyone does come up, the room is kind of scattered with maps and notes. His star map, which is like a crystal, will be still sat on the desk, and it'll have like little kind of like stones and rocks propping it up, and it'll have some kind of form of light. The curtains it'll be dark in there, and it'll be illuminating some constellations on the wall sill, and they'll just be fast asleep in the corner.
With you having been up all night, when would you have pulled the drapes closed?
Oh, probably literally before the first light. Before first light.
You would have definitely seen Rudius become a full bright red moon.
I think that would have been really concerning for Kawu, for someone who studies celestial bodies. To see that would just be like, what is going on? What is this? And his mind will probably start going even more into overtime, trying to dig back through prophecies or things he knows already about the moon, and probably with a list of questions for the group when he finally makes it downstairs. Is there anything would there be anything he knows about that?
It's generally known about the second moon of Xandria, that it does have a tendency to have its own schedule of sorts, and it can become a full moon at any point in time. And it is a moon that, because of ominous red color and the unpredictability of it, there's a lot of ill omen type superstitions attributed to when it's a full moon.
Right. Ill omens, of course. Okay. Would that coincide with any other knowledge that we've got previously about the vision that we all shared?
I feel like you would make the connection that it's probably related in some way, but you're not sure how.
Okay, certainly a question to ask the group. What did you say the moon's name was? Regulus?
Rudius.
Rudius. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
I was so close to the spelling on this one. I added an H.
I can see that. Yeah.
So I guess they're probably just asleep while everyone else is doing their thing.
Alright. How does Medea spend their morning?
Medea is a creature of habit and absolutely wakes up early and goes immediately to the kitchen and tries their very, very best to try to persuade, "May I please use some of your supplies here? And I have coin. I would like to prepare some rations for my party." Why are my captions, in all caps?
Whoa.
Medea whispering softly, captions, all caps.
But essentially, Medea loves to cook so very much, and will try to take every opportunity to over-prepare for whatever may come next, with the assumption that we have to book it or run away. Maybe an event has happened in the past where something has happened and we've had to run away. I imagine maybe tied to gambling, perhaps, but who knows. Yeah. However, I think... do we see the moon in the morning?
It's a lot paler. It seems to be like reverting already back to its more kind of crescent phase. So it's not as bright or as full that it was in the middle of the night. But it is still more noticeable than what it would be normally.
Okay. If it isn't so blatant, then I think Medea doesn't even notice. Medea just immediately kind of gets up. Her hair is just completely askew, and she just does a very half-hearted attempt to tame it down. She just tromps down. She wonders what she could make with the rice. I think she wants to make some sort of field snack. Maybe cook the rice into little cakes.
Rice cakes! I used to eat those as a kid.
Right? They're so good.
Yeah, and
Is there a more like long-term form of like onigiri, you know, where you like wrap it in like the seaweed a little bit or something like that, or what? I don't know.
Yeah, you can like fry rice into literal like sticks.
and there's like sticky rice that you can kind of like shape.
Mm-hmm. So Medea will spend
And
a few
musubi.
hours doing all of that. I have a whole bag of rice. That is a lot of rice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably use like half of it.
Yeah, the kitchens have been kind of like they're busy, but it's it's orderly. Everyone has their station and what they're doing, and for exchange of coin, they're more than happy to let you work away. They definitely have assorted ingredients that would go along with rice, since they're by rice fields and it's one of their main staples. So yeah, they offer up any extra like ingredients that you may need as part of the money exchange.
And if you need any assistance with cooking breakfast, I can certainly do that as well. I'm a little experienced with cooking, multitasking, and all of that. She says humbly, literally being like expertise level of cooking.
Vars, who's kind of like in and out, kind of like the front to the back and the back to the front, trying to like handle various duties, and he's like, "Oh, well, we could always use an extra hand."
Well, fortunately for you, I have two.
I think you'll get along just fine, and he'll go through and he'll like introduce, there's a very like maybe 15 different people of kitchen staff, like between the cooks and the attendants and those who are like peeling potatoes in the back room kind of thing, and he'll kind of like introduce everyone. Everyone's kind of like an assortment of goblins and orcs and drow. They're all kind of like most kind of like just do like a quick hey before kind of like getting back to their
Medea
thing.
is super annoying. Like throughout the entire time she's helping, she is kind of moving her way through the kitchen, and she will make a point of talking to every single person, even if it's only like 5 minutes, but like, "Oh, where are you from? Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Oh, that smells wonderful. You are clearly an expert of your craft." And just trying to make like genuine connections with these people. But if it's really obvious they don't want her to distract them, then she'll move on her way.
You definitely like have like there's some that will kind of they're in their zone, but like generally they all kind of like warm up to you, and it's kind of like a little bit of a morale boost in the kitchen. You kind of get a sense that they don't really have people who kind of like come and say really nice things about their cooking. Usually it's food being brought back with like various complaints here and there. Yeah, you spend your morning making a lot of snacks.
And I think even at some point, perhaps Medea comes out of the kitchen to where Yanni and Ada are sitting down and bring some food. Oh, wait, they went to go work out. Okay, perhaps just to Aira then.
Oh, thank you, Medea. Do you need any help? I suppose with Yanni and Mira out there. And I think they just kind of like crane their head to look out the window and maybe see like Yanni and Mira literally lifting rocks. Yeah, they're gonna be
like,
a while.
I like to. I imagine like when the camera pans over out the window, there's like the two of us literally out front in this tavern. There's probably like a rock that is like out front as like decor, and the two of us are just like taking turns heaving it around.
I was almost gonna say, like, if we're in like a city proper, are we like
Like a little town.
lifting something out? Like there's not enough like big rocks to satisfy our rock lifting needs, so we're like going over and trying to like lift, spare wheels off of carts and things like that that are like laying around.
I think like okay, so yeah, we're done with the rock. The rock's not big enough, and like when we pan over, Mira's going like, "Hey, look at this!" and you lift like a cart over your head, like some like empty farm stand or something.
Some guy's going, "My cabbages!"
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you for picking up on the entrance to that joke.
Yeah, after the festival,
got
and
you.
especially the Horizon Back section, there's definitely an assortment of carts and stalls and things that are more or less waiting to be repaired or beyond repair that no one will stop you from lifting.
Yes, we can certainly use some more help. Do you think we should get breakfast out to the two of them out there?
Yes. I can, if you want, I can do that. I think somebody should also get Kawu. He's, still asleep. And we have quite a day ahead of us, I think.
That's a very good idea. Which way would you prefer to go?
I suppose I can go and feed our, jocks out there.
Very good. Make sure you have something to eat yourself. And Medea just like dumps a bunch of food on the table.
Thank you.
As the two of you, formulate your plan and break to your respective tasks, the scene fades, and we will take our first